So I just came back from Anime Expo, and it was an absolutely packed weekend. I not only got to watch things like the first episode of My Hero Academia, or premieres of Promare, Hibike Euphonium, and even the new Bunny Senpai movie, but I also got to attend many panels where a lot of anime announcements were made. So let's take a look at some of the new anime-related projects that were revealed there, amongst other news that came out during that time. Let's start with the big one, Katsuhiro Otomo's New Projects. If you're unfamiliar with this man, he's the absolute legend responsible for bringing us Akira. And during the Sunrise panel, he was there to announce not one or two, but 3 brand new projects. The first is called Otomo, The Complete Works, basically a retrospective of his entire creative career. Now, that's cool and all, but that wasn't the big announcement. It was quickly revealed after that he is currently working on his 3rd animated film, Orbital Era, a near-future action-adventure story following the lives of young boys who survive within a space colony that's under construction. Not much was really shown in the preview, but I don't expect the actual film to look as it does here, or at least not the characters anyway. Other than that though, there's really no information on release date, cast, or staff, but I'll try to keep you updated as more information comes out. Then the final announcement is related to his most popular work, Akira. We're not sure what, but there is going to be some kind of new anime adaptation project related to Akira. Though for all we know, it could be a remake of the movie, a side story TV anime, or even a direct sequel. Nothing's been confirmed, or even hinted at for that matter. All we know is that something Akira related is in the works. Switching over to Studio Trigger now. The Promare premiere was absolutely amazing. I mean, this film was the epitome of a Trigger anime. Everything that you'd expect from Trigger was in it, and then some. They even had little Easter egg tributes to other Trigger works that were spread throughout the film. So if you're a fan of anything like Kill la Kill or Gurren Lagann, then I promise that this film will be much more than just a treat for you. But that wasn't all that Trigger showed. They also revealed their newest anime project, cause if you remember, the 3 that they revealed 2 years ago are now finished. So to fill that open spot in production, we have BNA, aka Brand New Animal. A rather different approach to Trigger's usual formula, as it deals with anamorphic humanoids in what looks to be a bustling neon city, with not a single mech suit in sight. So we can expect this anime to drop in 2020, likely around this same time next year. My Hero Academia also made a significant appearance this year, filling out the entire main events hall for the premiere of Season 4. Luckily, I was able to get in and watch with everyone else. It was pretty hype, but I will say though, the animation did seem a little bit off. However, it was still on point with the manga. And for those of you that may have been worried that they'd censor some of the darker moments, well, don't worry, because there's none of that. I mean, based on what I saw, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep the more intense scenes just as they were depicted in the manga, which was great because it really sets the tone for how this arc is going to go. We also got some new information regarding the second movie. It's called Heroes Rising and will be releasing on December 20th this year. The creator of the film hinted that this could be the final movie for the MHA series, referring to it as a kind of final chapter that wraps up most of the events related to All for One. Apparently, the film will feature one of All for One's heirs, known as Nine, a movie original character, and every student from Class A is set to be making an appearance as well. But it's hard to guess at what this story might entail. Hopefully, it'll be as good or better than the previous one. Another big announcement was for Madoka Magica. I mean, we already know that we're getting a side story anime to complement the new Madoka Magica Gaiden mobile game. So this low-res preview showing various character designs isn't anything too exciting. What is though, was the message left by Studio Shaft's president and Homono's voice actress at the end of the panel. They had confirmed that the original Madoka Magica series hasn't ended yet, and Homono will be returning for sure, which could mean any number of things, not just a TV anime sequel to the original series. It could be a movie or even an OVA, but having a direct continuation to the original series is still pretty exciting nonetheless. Now, other new previews released during this time was the trailer for the TV anime adaptation of the visual novel games Nekopara, which also just had its own mobile game announced. The sequel film to the 2017 anime Made in Abyss finally got its first new preview, giving us brand new footage of what to expect from this direct continuation. The director of Recreators and Fate Zero is bringing us a brand new original anime project called ID Invaded. There's no word yet on what to expect, but based on the brief preview, it looks like it'll be a kind of tech-based thriller, maybe one that takes place in a kind of virtual world. Regardless, we'll find out as we get closer to the set release date of sometime in 2020. This next preview was shown quite a few times at the Kadokawa booth at Anime Expo. It's for a winter 2020 series called Plunderer, and the premise is actually rather interesting. It's set in a post-apocalyptic world where every human is branded by a count, a number that could represent anything that's related to their life. It could be your number of steps walked, or how many times that someone has said a specific word to you. This count is constantly keeping track of that one thing, and once that count hits 0, then you're dragged into the abyss by Beetlejuice's many shadow hands. Now, it's no isekai, but it looks to be something new to bring to the fantasy genre, and I think it'll be worth checking out early next year. But speaking of isekai, it wouldn't be a proper news episode if I didn't talk about at least one. So we have the light novel series, The Eighth Son, Are You Kidding Me?, getting an anime adaptation. This featuring your typical salaryman, waking up with his mind inside the body of a 6-year-old, the 8th and youngest child of a poor noble family living in some fantasy-type world. Now, his skills from the old world aren't very useful, but he has been blessed with the rare ability to use magic. So yeah, in a sense, he is more OP than everyone else. We'll just have to see where this story takes us once it releases in 2020. Now, the last preview that I have to share is for the fantasy comedy called This Hero is Invincible But Too Cautious. It's being done by Studio White Fox, and is adapting the light novel of the same name, and the name pretty much sums up the entire story. Our protagonist is extremely powerful, but no matter how weak the enemy is, he'll always be fully prepared and go all out. In that sense, you could probably draw some parallels to Ainz. Anyway, this show will start airing next season in October. Now, to finish off with some other anime announcements, we are getting an anime adaptation of the Isekai light novel series, Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life, coming out in October. Also during that time is the adaptation of the suspense novel series Babylon. The 4th Evangelion film got slated for 2020, Origaru's Season 3 will be done by Studio Feel and also come out in 2020, and finally we're getting a Season 3 for Golden Kamui and a Season 2 for the Quintessential Quintuplets. And that's pretty much all the news I have for you today. But before I go though, I have a quick PSA about the Bunny Senpai movie. So, about 5,000 people wanted to watch it this weekend, and only a couple hundred got let into the room. But once again, I was lucky enough to get in. So let me tell you, this movie was fantastic. Perhaps even better than the anime itself. It does a great job of wrapping up the series as a whole. So if you're looking for a highly emotional conclusion to an outstanding anime in general, then do yourself a favor and try to get yourself a ticket to watch this movie in theaters. Anyway, let me know in the comments what out of the things that I've mentioned that you're looking forward to the most. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime news content, then you already know what to do. So, until next time, ciao!